There is no doubt that supporters of Deputy President William Ruto at the moment are feeling dejected and confused, and some defeated. But I believe the ruling emotion is confusion, because after we see photographs in the press and on social media of the president and the deputy president very happy with each other, warmly greeting each other, having a lengthy chat, the president then proceeds to speak about changing the laws of the country, adjusting the 2010 constitution, which is precisely what the deputy president and Team Tangatanga have been preaching about for a very long time. And then the most recent bombshell, that from now henceforth, the deputy president's office will not be a separate office. It will operate directly under the office of the president. And that includes budgetary issues. And then after that announcement, we hear all kinds of barbs being thrown at the president. Oh, you cannot change the constitution. Oh, you cannot just sit down and use an executive order to change everything, to change the 2010 constitution. You cannot be able to change even a comma in that constitution using an executive order. And we even had a very competent lawyer, if nothing else, Miguna, chipping in and saying that Kenyans should ignore the executive order. Now, before I say what I'm about to say, let me emphasize that I don't hold brief for Team Keleweke, and neither do I hold brief for Team Tangatanga. I'm a political analyst, and I'm supposed to be neutral. And of course, the biggest advantage you have as a neutral analyst is that you're able to see both sides of the coin. And so if you're interested in the facts over this latest development, hear me out. But if you belong to either side of the political divide, then I'd advise you to look elsewhere. Now, for those who want the facts over this latest development, this is the story. Sometime in 2013, when the brand new Jubilee government, the brand new Ruto government was settling in, and when number 1 and number 2 were bosom buddies, those days when the president used to fondly refer to his deputy as William, and the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya would introduce the president as my friend. Around that time, the president signed his very first executive order number 1. In a nutshell, that executive order gave the deputy president's office a budget separate from the budget of the office of the president. Amongst other things, this allowed the deputy president to have his own chief of staff. Now, let us agree that had this arrangement already been in the constitution, there'd have been no need for an executive order. Now, fast forward to the present. All that has happened is that the president has cancelled executive order number 1 with a brand new executive order. Indeed, contrary to popular opinion, what the president has done is that he has chosen to respect the constitution, as opposed to his actions in 2013 in executive order number 1. Because we all know, or at least most of us should know, that according to our current constitution, the presidency is one team, not two teams of a president and his deputy. And the same applies to governors as well. And that is precisely why a governor cannot wake up one morning in a bad mood and fire his deputy. It can't happen. Yeah, because it is a team. Now, of course, the president's handlers would have cleared the air right from the word go. And they would have given us that explanation. Yeah. So why didn't they? Well, the answer is very simple. I believe they were unable to resist the temptation to use this opportunity to put down Team Tangatanga. Yeah, and to clearly tell them who is boss. The president, in an executive order, has completely cancelled the budget for the office of the deputy president. From now, henceforth, the office of the deputy president does not exist. The deputy president will be operating very much under the office of the president. And that is final. Executive order has been signed by the President of the Republic of Kenya, who is also Commander-in-Chief of all. I'm sure you get my drift. That was the whole idea. But technically speaking, that is not really what happened. Yeah, we now know exactly and precisely what happened. There's nobody who did anything to the Constitution. No. If anything, somebody decided to follow the Constitution to the letter. Actually, the question any keen observer should be asking is, why wasn't this done earlier? Yeah, when this Team Tangatanga thing came up, why didn't this executive order come out immediately? Well, it is easy to guess why. Yeah, you know, we are still operating under a new constitution. Yeah, people are still understanding, digesting, chewing, the new constitution. And so my guess is that recently it dawned on somebody who understands the constitution, and they ask themselves, how come the office of the deputy president has a budget? That is not in the constitution. And at some point, this information came to the attention of those close to the president. And they asked, Inyewe, what is going on here? Let's check. And they found out what happened in 2013. And I have a hunch somebody rubbed their hands in glee. Bas, sasa, mambo iko shwari. Hii maneno tutatengeneza. Anyway, what we need to ask ourselves now is, what are the political implications going forward? Well, for starters, it means that the deputy president is on a short leash. Very short. Since it is all one office now, as it should be, and that is the office of the presidency, consisting of the president and his deputy. Since it is one office, it means that there's one person in charge of everything that goes on. For instance, the guys in charge of the diary look at the president's diary and they say, okay, this week the president is supposed to be pushing the BBI agenda. Okay? So the president will be at this function and this function. Oh, he might not be available for this one. So the deputy president needs to step in, and represent the president here, pushing the BBI agenda. What? Will that work? What? That is going to be a difficult one. Because I'm finding it difficult to see the deputy president somewhere in the Rift Valley talking about the BBI. And then somebody like Oscar Sudi, in inviting the deputy president to speak, starts praising the BBI, starts praising the handshake, starts praising Raila Odinga, the other principal in the handshake. Aye. Hiyo hesabu haingii. And that is precisely why what is going to unfold in the next few days and weeks is going to be super interesting to observe. The Deputy President has said, he has told us, that he is fully behind the President, which means that he is fully behind all about the President and all about his agendas. And that includes abolishing the office of the presidency in a referendum and changing Kenya's constitution so that we become a parliamentary system, or at the very least some kind of hybrid system where we have a president and a prime minister. And we know that is an idea that the deputy president and his team are very much against, because the deputy president wants to be president in 2022. And even if it was you would not want to take over a diluted presidency. Indeed, the deputy president has not come this far and spent so much money to campaign to be a ceremonial president. No way! Wapi ile popcorn? Wapi ile bobcorn? Ay. Drama, being drama, Arab drama, ole drama, Sheikh drama, yote pamoja. You know, the only way this can work is if the deputy president completely changes and becomes kuku ambaye imenyeshewa. A humble man with absolutely no opinion of his own, different from the opinion of the presidency, and indeed the person heading that presidency. Now, will that not be a very fascinating, brand new deputy president to watch in action? Oh yes. However, I don't see how. After everything we've been through, after the huffing and the puffing and the grandstanding of Team Tangatanga, I don't see the deputy president being reduced to a chicken that has been rained on. I don't. Indeed, that is the way a deputy president should behave. Look at Mike Pence, the deputy president of the United States of America, Trump's deputy. He is almost invisible. Indeed, he looks like a prop in the hands of Trump. And constitutionally, that is the way it should be. Because constitutionally, the deputy president doesn't have any functions, doesn't have anything to do that has not been assigned to him by the president. And I'm not bashing Team Tangatanga. I am just reading the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. And I'm sure some of you have seen what I'm driving at. And it is simply this. The behavior of the deputy president, and indeed the deputy president's office, over the last couple of months, a year and a half or so, has been illegal. He has been operating outside the Constitution. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of the things which have been done against the deputy president are not fair. They're also illegal. But it is also true to say that many of them have been done in retaliation to the deputy president operating outside the Constitution. Because any stranger to Kenya would have quickly observed, you guys have a very powerful deputy presidency. Your Constitution seems confused. Because the president says this, the deputy president says something else. What does your Constitution say? That the deputy president can operate on his own, has their own office, and sometimes his office can be in opposition to the office of the presidency? You guys are crazy. Folks, my dear friends in Team Tangatanga, Yeah, because I have many friends in Team Tangatanga. Yeah. And I hate it when I hurt their feelings. Yeah, but I have to be a political analyst. This is the reality. This is the truth. Nothing but the truth. And I fully appreciate there's a history behind it. Yeah, that some people had a deal. Yeah, I rule for 10 years, then I'll take over another 10 years. Yeah. And as a result of that deal, the president got the support he needed to become president. I'm aware of that. However, we have this nagging thing called our constitution and what it says. And therefore, if you make a deal which is outside the constitution, yenyewe, what should you expect? Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.